What's up, guys? Josh here with Paparazzi Imaging and Films. This is the Vignette podcast, episode 16. Sorry for everybody that has been tuning in to the podcast. I've been off of it for a couple weeks now. I've been really busy, but anyways, we're back here. We got Jimmy Henderson, Pro 4 driver in the Champ Off-Road series. The dude is building a huge name for himself, big following. You guys got to follow him on Instagram. So welcome, Jimmy. Welcome to the podcast. Let's get into this thing.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. It's been quite the journey trying to get you onto the show.
Yeah. I mean, we hook up at the races and stuff like that, and it's busy. I mean, I don't know if the fans really understand how much goes into a race weekend for the teams and the drivers. And I mean, between this dude and my wife, I have a list of things I have to be at every 30 minutes. But I love it. There's nothing else in the world I'd rather be doing. And to have my family and friends here makes it even more important. So it's been an awesome season, man.
Yeah, it really has been. It really has been. You've been giving CJ quite the run for his money. And just alone, it's like you're becoming a huge role model on the series and for people. Yeah,
and, I've been racing a long time in different avenues, stuff like that, and maybe not on this level, but it will become a situation on this level where professionalism and how you act on and off the track, as more money comes into it, and as we move into the future, certainly next year, things are going to change, and expectations are going to be had of drivers.
Mm-hmm.
I am used to that.
Yeah.
And I live up to that level. And, I think that my family and my daughter and, Jesus Christ just expects more out of me than just to go out there and run my mouth when I don't know what I'm saying or don't know what actually happened.
Right.
And on top of that, I don't think the fans want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to see me jump out of the truck and say something when I really don't know what happened. I'm in a helmet. I have a 6-inch window to the whole race, and y'all are looking at it from outside.
Yeah.
And a lot of times what we see or what we feel like happened isn't really what happened. Even if we did it and we're like, man, that dude cut me off, but really the window we see it out of is very minute.
Yeah.
And we don't get to see the big picture of what the other guy was doing, what his move looked like.
Right.
And that's just a part, even in motocross, you can as a motocrosser, you can kind of look around a little bit. We're strapped in and we got the horse blinders on, and all we see is out the front window. And, not making excuses for anything, but we have had a crazy amount of problems with our radios this year. We're going back to Motorola.
Mm-hmm.
We jumped over to some crap we bought off Amazon or whatever. It was a good radio, but now there's an issue with my radio, the one that stays in my truck, and
that's not good for you.
Right. The pins are having issues, so it's cutting in and out. It's caused a lot of problems this year, like at ERX where we missed the caution.
Right.
We come blazing over the top. Well, my radio had been cut out, and I just didn't want to come off the track.
Because they were like, you got to stop, right?
Yeah, and it was so when RJ kind of woed up and I kind of went around him, so at the point I still didn't hear caution.
Right.
And my spotter didn't call caution, but I didn't realize my radio wasn't working, so I thought RJ broke.
Oh.
I thought because he landed off the flyway and pulled to the left.
Mm-hmm.
So when he pulled to the left, normally if you're going to slow down, you just kind of slow down, right?
Yeah,
and it's a caution. Well, he pulled over to the left, and first thing that came in my mind, he just broke. He landed, broke the drive shaft and axle. Yeah, and I was go.
Mm-hmm.
And Andrew Carlson followed me right around. Now, somewhere down the back straightaway, Andrew got told slow down.
Mm-hmm.
But my radio wasn't working. And then it was weird, man, we just took the lead. I'm down the straightaway. I'm not being told inside, outside lane, say split lane. I wasn't told anything.
Right.
So it kind of struck me that CJ might still be parked on the wall. So I started to slow down, and I come over the jump, and I'd already started decreasing speed. But when I came over the jump and I saw
the truck right there,
and CJ there, I just locked her down.
Yeah.
Not worth putting anybody in danger.
Yeah.
So, locked it down, spun her around, whatever I had to do to get woed up.
Yeah.
But complete miscommunication, and that's what shows it's so important to have good radio communication. And Champ does a great job with their spotters and stuff, and telling us, but if my radio don't work, it don't matter.
Yeah.
Right. So, props to Champ for giving me a little grace in that situation and understanding. They came over and they're like, "Hey, what's up, dude?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I was able to, during that caution, I was able to start wiggling some wires and
it
stuff
started
that came
working?
back, and then we changed the entire harness.
Right.
And it helped for a little bit, but this weekend we're trying to get the Motorola's going, so we'll see how that goes. This is an important weekend.
Yeah, big time. Big time. What are you, 25 points, 24 points behind CJ?
Yeah, right there, 25 points from CJ. We have 3 rounds left, so there's time it'll be tight. I mean, man, if it's possible, it's going to come down to a point or two either way.
Yeah.
And he's done what he's had to do this season to kind of put together a good season. Anago went really well for him. He swept the weekend. We were able to come to Crandon. We swept the weekend. And then, throughout the season, it's kind of been that way. We've had our shining spots. He's had his shining spots. We've also had some mad battles that probably getting out of hand at this point. It's end of the season. I think we know each other well enough. It's time to calm it down a little bit, but it has to be on both sides. We can't say, "Hey, man, everything's cool," and then
somebody else drops the hammer and takes you out.
Yeah. So, I do think that other people are coming up. RJ's mad fast. RJ's got some serious speed. Cole Mamer's got serious speed. Adrian Cheney's coming out of a new life. He's got a new spotter. He's got that big motor.
The hell, wild man.
Yeah,
he's a wild man out there.
He's putting it together, and he did a good job at Bark River when I got black flagged. I don't think.
Was it really handed? It was handed it to him though.
Yeah, I mean, no Pro 4 races handed, and to that extent, I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying Pro 4 is insane. I mean, it's wild. The adrenaline, the trucks were throwing them around. Things do happen. Could I have been more patient? Yes, but I ran 2 laps and didn't even know that me and CJ made contact. My spotter didn't tell me we made, and we didn't. If we made contact, it was very minute contact.
Yeah.
So it wasn't
not very much at all.
There was nothing I felt in the truck. I had no idea it even happened. They called black flag, and I'm like, 40. Wait a minute, I'm fucking 44.
Right.
I was like, what are you talking about, black flag? Black flag for what? Leading the race?
You're right.
And
come on, man.
Adrian still did a good job. I mean, he was there. We were preserving the truck at that point.
Yeah.
But he was there, and he was close enough to be an issue if I made a big mistake.
Of course.
But, he's doing good. So this weekend, I mean, it's the Crandon World Cup.
Yeah.
No matter what anybody says, the best in the world are here. If they got a Pro 4 and they can drive it and they feel like they can win a race, they're here this weekend. And, we ran really good in practice yesterday. We were second in practice, and we had issues with the motor, and I couldn't believe we were second in practice because the motor's popping and cracking down the straightaways. We got all that straight. Yeah, I mean, that Toyota's sick, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing's got mad power, but it was hurting a little bit yesterday, and then we got into qualifying, and they wet the track down real bad, and we put it in the wall right off the start.
But that wasn't your fault.
Yeah, I mean, well, we just, me and you just watched the video right here on the laptop. I was braking 50 feet before my normal braking point, which was how did we slide? But that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
The G-force of the deceleration was completely gone. And it was hitting ice, hydroplaning. And I was just
well, especially there was blue groove and everything, right?
Yeah, so they watered the blue groove, and there was nothing but slush and mud on top of it. And that's when Adrian plowed into me, and then they dragged me off the track, and Adrian does it again, and I think John hit the wall right there.
Oh my God.
So it's just a mess. I mean, it's something that should have been recognized and would have saved thousands of dollars between a couple Pro 4s, and from what I understand, Pro 2 did it too.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
They watered it in Pro 2, and you know they had a lot of issues. They said
they should have just groomed the track and just left it.
Yeah, they could have groomed it or went back there, or at least bladed the mud off.
Yeah.
And no water right there where the trees cover that part of the track.
Yeah, because it can't dry.
Yeah, it can't dry. So, like, blade that off, push the mud over to the side. It was heavy mud. Push that to the side. Give us a surface. What's a little bit of dust? 200 foot of dust ain't going to mean nothing.
No.
You know? So,
you guys create dust within the first 3 laps anyways.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that's what I'm looking forward to. The track's really hard packed. It's getting chewed up, a lot of holes. I mean, I am super confident with the Maxxis tires we have. I'm super confident with the truck we have and the package we put underneath it as far as the shocks and everything. It's going to be a fast truck.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be a lot to come from 10th to win this thing, but I think
possible.
we can do it.
Yeah,
I absolutely think we can do it. I think it'll be a battle between me, CJ, and RJ right at the end of the race. But if I was putting money down, I wouldn't count us out because I feel really good about what I felt the couple laps we did get to run.
Yeah.
And like I said, at the pace that I was setting, I could not believe that we were, you know, in the top 2 in practice because I was not pushing at all.
Right.
Doesn't mean we know what everybody else was doing.
Right.
But from the video footage I've seen, it looked like they were pushing pretty hard.
Yeah.
You know, and I was
maybe they were pushing too hard.
It maybe.
You know, there's always that term of sometimes you got to slow down to go faster. You know, and the way the track was, maybe you were just like, all right, well, let's be a little bit more reserved in a couple sections because it is muddy.
Yeah, and even off the face of the jumps and stuff, I mean, we had a little nosedive going on because I wasn't accelerating off the faces.
Right.
And it's things like that there's a lot of time built into those little sections, like little increments here and there.
Right.
And, you know, I wasn't willing to risk it on Thursday, you know, which, you know, we ended up tearing the truck up and qualifying, not even pushing yet.
Right.
I mean, that wasn't the push lap. We only had 2 laps, but I was like, man, the track's so wet. I'm going to take a cruising lap. Let's see what this thing looks like. And then lap 2, we're going to push where we know we can.
Yeah.
We're going to conserve where we know we need to.
And then drop the hammer.
I didn't even make it that far. So, yeah.
Well, you made like, what, 75% of a whole lap?
Yeah, 75%. But, you know, and a lot of people wrecked in that corner. And like I said, 12 Pro 2s spun out or wrecked in that corner. And it just says a lot to what should have been done right there.
Yeah.
I mean, the track was getting pretty blue, and then you pour water on it. It's like, dude.
It is an ice rink.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like.
Straight ice rink.
It was pretty bad. But, you know, all in all, so far, great weekend. The parade was awesome today.
Yeah, it was. A lot of people.
Boys stayed up to about 2:30, 3 o'clock last night.
Freaking animals.
And we were up at 6 this morning to get ready for the parade. So, yeah, I hope they're sleeping in their campers right now.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah. I mean, they are hardcore. But really, like, getting down to the parade and, like, talking to the fans and having face-to-face with all these people that cheer for us and stuff and hearing, you know, how much they're behind us and how much they love watching us race and they love seeing a new face in Pro 4. And I think that's something to be said for everybody. I mean, you go back through the history of Pro 4, there's not a lot of people that got 3 wins.
No.
You know, and that win at Lena, I mean, that was straight out. Like, we qualified pole. We led flag to flag. I had Mamer inside, outside. I had CJ inside, outside.
Yeah.
And we had the truck to beat, and we put it down. And we're going to see that this weekend. We got to get through turn 1, Crandon turn 1. It's always a thing. It's like, hey, you know, the race, you really don't know where you qualified until you are through turn 1.
Yeah, that's
when
true.
You get through turn 1, that is your starting spot. Where you start on that grid. And personally, like, if I'm not first through 4th, I'm good with being 8th, 9th, or 10th. Because the center of, like, up in the center is the highest point, right? When you're going through the rollers, the center is the highest. It's not a level elevation.
Right.
So I'm going to try to take an advantage of that. I'll get out there. I'll probably walk the track tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, walk the track, kind of feel out where I think I'm going to be starting and what line I want to take.
Yeah.
it'll be risky because being on the outside, if anybody gets together, we are going to be the collateral damage.
Yeah,
you know, if
100%.
two people, fifth and sixth, get together, they're coming right out to me. So it's a choice. Do we push it? And it may be a deal where my spotter's got to say, hey, you got to tuck down. I've done that before, where we kind of got halfway down the straightaway going into
And
one.
let the guys on the inside
I
go.
realized what was about to happen, and I slammed on the brakes and tucked it to the bottom, and I came out like fourth.
Yeah, and that's a good start.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like with the truck we have and the way the tires are going to come in when it dries out, if we can be in the top 6 on the start and work our way to the top 4, maybe 3 by halfway caution, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I'm good with that on the long track because it's a long race and a lot of things can happen. It's about nutrition. You don't have to pass everybody. You just got to make it to the end.
Right.
But when it gets about 4 to go, that's when you know, about 2 laps after the halfway caution, that's when you got to put it down. You got to run 4 hard laps and push that thing to the limit if you're not in the lead.
Right.
So that's the plan. You know, we're going to be there at the end, and we plan on taking advantage of it.
And that, like, through the season, through the first part of the season, have like kind of done that whole thing. You wait till the halfway caution, and then you just drop the hammer, no matter where you are.
Yeah.
And then that you start picking off people. You know.
Yeah,
You've gotten a lot smarter as a driver.
The track has, and that's things we've seen. Like the track has later in the race, it has more areas where you can pass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Starts to open up.
Yeah, it starts to open up. The cushion gets pushed out a little farther. You've had a little time to figure out where you're faster than other people.
Right.
I mean, that was like at Bark River. Like, once I felt like I knew where Kyle Chaney was having issues in that tight area in front of the grandstand, so I knew that there was a possibility there. And this was the first half. Well, after I felt comfortable and confident that I knew where I could pass Chaney at, I actually started watching CJ in front of Chaney.
Oh,
So I was
so you're
driving.
looking way ahead.
I was watching CJ to see where he was doing it, and that's one of the reasons I made that pass where I did.
Maybe we should keep that on the down low.
Maybe, but it's not an easy thing to do, to focus
No.
on multiple trucks while you're focusing on your lines.
Yeah.
But that's the level of confidence I have right now, and that's where I'm at. Being comfortable in the Pro 4. A lot of experience and circle track and stuff like that, and you kind of do that. You get, you know, your Talladega, your Atlanta Motor Speedway or Charlotte, and you start focusing on multiple cars, not just the car in front of you.
Right.
Because you're looking to see what a lap car might create or what the guy in front of him might create. If he makes a move on him, doesn't complete it, how do you maneuver that?
Right.
You know what I mean? And we can push a 3-wide situation in circle track.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, if he goes down low and he tries to dip down low one time and he gets a push, well, if you see him go low again, you know he's not going to make it. Now, in that driver's mind, he may feel confident he'll make it, but you watched it.
Yeah.
And you know he's not going to make it. And you know that the guy up top's going to squeeze him.
Yeah.
So when he squeezes him, you just hold it to the floor and try to make a run around the outside. But it's one of those things, the track has to give you that. That outside line has to be there.
Yeah.
It's the same thing here on the dirt. We can hold the inside line. We have really good tires, really good setup.
Yeah.
I feel like I can hold a blue groove line and a slicked off line. I don't have to be on the cushion to make the truck turn.
Right.
And that's an advantage.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of work we've put in, and I've put in as a driver to figure out how to stay off the cushion and still be fast.
Yeah.
So-
And you always want to watch out for the inside too, like you said. There could always
Yeah.
be somebody sneaking on the inside trying to give
Yeah.
you a wheel.
Yeah, I mean, right now we got RJ. You know, Johnny's getting his groove back a little bit. Adrian Cheney's gonna be crazy fast. Hope he don't get in front of me, man. It's gonna be hard to pass that dude.
Yeah.
It's like never run the same lap twice. It's just like help me, help you, man.
Yeah, for sure. And you guys run Maxes, so why not?
Yeah, and we both run Maxes.
Yeah.
You know, but he's fast.
Yeah.
He's fast, and it's hard to predict somebody like him that doesn't tend to do the same thing every lap.
Right.
so it's hard to study him. You really almost have to get behind him and be ready
when he makes a mistake.
What I mean? Yeah, when he makes a mistake, you, like, jump on it now.
Yeah.
And there cannot be a second thought in your mind. It has to happen right then, or he'll wipe you out.
Well, and that's like going back to Barker River. There might be some controversy on this point, but with you and CJ, you put it there. You know, when you were making that pass, you made it happen, and that was your judgment call. You know, you were like, all right, this is my opportunity. I'm going to take it. You know, but it is what it is. You know, I think anybody in that situation would do that. You know.
Yeah.
But you could have waited. You could have waited in the race, but why wait when you know that door was open right there?
Yeah, the door was open, and I knew. So from laps previous, me and Kyle Chaney were both catching him entering that corner, and then we would exit about the same speed. So we were gaining a car length there, and he had other places where he was pulling us.
Yeah. But again, that's that weakness.
Yeah, but that's where I saw weakness was he was running a very wide line on the jump. Me and Chaney were both about a half a car width naturally, just running behind him a half a car width more inside. We were gaining him over the jump, and we had better rotation into the corner, and he was doing a little wider and landing in the cushion and kind of rotating and then coming off the cushion and running out.
Yeah. Okay.
So I saw that multiple times. So there's a lot of things I'm thinking when I see that.
Yeah.
And I expected him to check. There's no way we're going too wide. And
You guys said it would have to tiptoe through that to do too wide.
Yeah, I mean, even if you were racing too wide, let's say you're going down the straightaway too wide and you land, the guy on the outside would, if I was on the outside of somebody and we're going down the straightaway and we made it to the turn still side by side, I would more than likely check. I would know he's going to run me to the K-rail.
Right.
I would check and cross him.
Yeah, almost like a block pass.
Yeah, I would check up, let him wash out, and I would cross over that.
Yeah, or maybe that's what he was trying to do. But I doubt it.
Maybe.
There's questions.
He missed it by a foot, and I missed it by a foot. So if that's the case, we both missed it by 6 inches, right?
Yeah.
So, I've watched the video, and I mean, my bedside, and I've posted the video so people can watch it if they want. But the bedside caught his bumper.
Yeah.
There was no tire contact at all.
No.
So it was fiberglass to fiberglass. It did redirect his car, but it could have been brake. It could have been the force from the redirection.
Right. And the counter steering. Whatever.
Either way, if I had to do it again, knowing that CJ would have wrecked, I wouldn't. It doesn't mean that I wouldn't do that move again.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if I had a crystal ball and I knew that if I did that at that time he was going to wreck, I would never do that. I would never want to put him in danger or damage his vehicle. I want to race with him heads up, and I want to beat him.
But he went out and continued to race.
He did. He continued to race and stuff like that, which is why, like, when he pushed me off the track completely on Saturday and I'm all the way up on the bank and I'm out in the grass, and I have to run back onto the track, and I go from 1st to 7th in a turn, like, that's a little frustrating. Like, why wasn't there a warning, like rough driving warning or a black flag?
Yeah.
Because
100%.
he lost 4 positions.
You lost your lead.
Right. I lost the lead, and they held me until he got by me.
Yeah.
That was not a stop and go. That was a stop, wait, eat a sandwich, have a drink. I mean, geez. And then a go.
Yeah.
So I think there was some questionable calls. I know it's really hard on Champ to have to make calls in the booth while the race going on, and they're still trying to watch other races. Like, they're making these decisions.
But they got multiple people watching.
They do, and I understand that there was a lot of pressure from the Greaves up in the spotters tower.
Yeah.
Which, when we were at Anago, start of the season, very first thing they said in the drivers' meeting, do not approach Bobby. Do not talk to him. Do not approach the officials.
Right.
During the race, you have 30 minutes after the race.
Yeah.
So, from what I'm being told, and from
that was during the race. That wasn't even
from the video I've seen, somebody from that team was up there chewing Bobby's ass out. But Bobby did not disqualify that person
Right.
or the driver or say anything, or it was never mentioned. But everybody up there just happened to see it. And that's what I keep hearing over and over. Like, what happened to that?
Yeah.
Why wasn't this other guy not affiliated? Was not CJ Spotter, but it was somebody from the team. Why wasn't he disqualified?
Right.
So there's a lot of things. There's just this mess of stuff
Yeah.
that happened. CJ chose to push me off the track that first lap. I chose.
100%.
Well, I chose to make that jump.
Yeah.
I
But
thought
there's no right or wrong.
I thought I had the line. I thought he could have checked, but like I said, it was a risky move that I probably didn't need to make because we were faster than him anyways. I could have passed him 3 times before that. I just was trying to wait. And then I saw
How long do you
him.
wait?
Well, we were going down the straightaway, and he kept drifting right. And I was like, fuck, is he asking me to go there?
Yeah, right.
I mean, he's like leaving this
He
thing
should've
wide
just
open.
you
Yeah, I was
around.
like, how far is he going out there? But I knew he was using that cushion on entry, and I was like, I can clear him before we get there,
Yeah.
So watching the GoPro, that was your GoPro, off the side of the truck, he did make a left-hand turn toward the back of the truck while I was rotating.
Yeah.
That's very questionable because you need to check and then make a turn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Check up, get clear, make the turn, cut the inside. So if that was his intent to cut, to cross me.
Yeah. It was kind of a poor decision.
Yeah, it was, but I could have waited. I could have waited a couple laps. So
Yeah, but you know what? That's part of racing. This whole controversy thing between the black flag and you making the wrong choice or right choice, or however people want to view it, is like, it's racing, and there's gonna be stuff like that, and people want to see action.
you
like
got to make
CJ
decisions like that.
Yeah, and
I mean,
CJ could have came. He got back on the track. You were what? There was one person, but when you got back on the track, there was one person in front of you. I think it was Carlson, and then it was CJ, right?
Yeah.
So either
And Mamer. We
Yeah,
got by Mamer, too.
yeah. So
Yep.
there was, you could have, or he could have got back on the track, and he could have fought his way up.
Yep.
Either way, or
Well, they released me in 8th,
yeah,
and we made it back up to 5th
Right.
in the 2 laps I had left.
right.
So, yeah, I mean,
But either way, he could have caught up. CJ's an experienced driver. So were you.
it's difficult because if I watch Circle Track and you're at Atlanta Motor Speedway and somebody squeezes you, you know what I mean? Like you're coming on. How many times have we watched ESPN and somebody squeezes the other guy up into the wall
Right.
to win the race?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no difference in what I did and that.
Yeah.
Once you have 3/4 of your truck, and like I said, when we touched, it was fiberglass to fiberglass.
You had
was
maybe 3/8.
Yeah, there was a foot overlap of our trucks. That was my line.
Yeah, 100%.
That was my line. Now, how everybody sees it and how they called it, it is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, well, they got their favorites. Well, I'd be lying if I didn't say that, but
Yeah. Leave it in the comments.
leave that in the comments. Yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah.
So, but I respect Champ, and I know they have a hard job to do, and I would never want to be in that position.
Yeah.
Like, that's no job I want, right?
No.
I enjoy being in the car and watching racing. I don't want to be a part of having to make those hard calls.
Yeah.
But they got to be consistent.
Yeah.
If they made the call Saturday, and then they made some of the other calls Saturday, and I made a bad judgment call. I mean, honestly, like I felt worse about the move I made Saturday trying to get inside of Andrew Carlson, and he straightened me out. Same thing.
Oh, on that same corner.
I tucked inside of Carlson, and
You were like a pinball.
I didn't realize that he was trying to get inside Johnny. I thought Johnny was clear. So when him and Johnny made contact, Carlson's truck touched the back of my truck and straightened me out. And when you're watching it live on video,
Yeah.
like it looks like I just went straight into the corner and banked it
Yeah.
and ran it.
Right.
Amazing that we got through that without like tearing up a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't even know. happened so fast. Like, why am I going straight? My wheels turned. You know, and then I got wiped out in the next corner, and then Carlson gets wiped out. Like, we went through that whole race, and there was like 3 running trucks at the end of it, and nobody got a black flag.
Right.
Like, and then the next day, I make one move that is mildly questionable.
Yeah.
They wait 3 laps. They let me lead 3 laps. Then they make the call with 2 to go. Then they hold me longer than they should have. Like, are you fucking like, am I the redheaded stepchild in this situation? You know what I mean? Like, geez, dude. Like,
pretty much.
If you want to make a point, here you go.
Yeah.
Because everybody was, that team was complaining about the call made on CJ when he stuffed me in the wall here at Crandon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were like, well, 3 positions, that's just that's
too much.
That's really harsh.
Yeah.
Dude, look at what they just did to me.
Yeah.
They had a questionable call that they should have made after they reviewed video after the race. They should have disqualified the person that was raising hell up in the spotters tower.
Yeah.
And the driver.
Yeah.
Which probably coached him to do that. It wasn't, you know, I'm sure it wasn't. He is a very passionate person. Both of them are.
Yeah.
And they all are. And we all are.
Yeah.
But I know, you know, John and Brad are passionate. They want to win. They are fierce competitors. Mm-hmm. That's what makes this even greater.
Yeah.
Like, that's what makes it. I have said it to many people. Like, I want to beat CJ.
Yeah.
Why? Because he is a fierce competitor.
Yeah.
He does care. He wants to win as bad as I want to win.
Mm-hmm.
And he has done it for years.
Yeah.
He has done it since he's gotten that seat. So for me to come out of nowhere, and it ain't out of nowhere. I have a lot of racing experience, but on the off-road scene, I don't.
Yeah, right.
For me to be able to accomplish what I've accomplished this year, I'm fucking proud of that.
Heck yeah, man.
You know? I mean,
Heck
we
yeah.
have worked hard for this, and we're just as fierce as them. But, yeah, they are passionate about it, and they are going to do everything they can do to win. But we are too.
Yeah.
I will do whatever it takes, and not to a dirty sense, but like, if we need to step our game up, I will step my game up. And when I get to the top, we are not there. We've won 3 races. We've had some seconds, but we are not at the top. CJ is still the guy at the top.
Mm-hmm.
I will not stop pushing. And when I get to the top, I will keep pushing.
Yeah.
Because I know at that point, they're going to be chasing me, and they will not stop pushing.
Right.
But that's what this is about. That's what makes racing so great.
Yeah.
But it also causes controversy and conflict between people because they're battling each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? CJ and Johnny don't have ill intent for me.
No.
You know what I mean? But they want to beat me.
Yeah.
They don't want to lose to me.
Right.
You know? And
That's like when Kyle LeDuc came on the scene.
yes. Yeah, there may have been some ill intent there. There's like some bad blood from like 20 years back. Like, you know, it's like some Hatfield McCoy shit going on there.
James Stewart, freaking Chad Reed,
I mean,
shit.
They have some stuff going on that's you know, well beyond my years.
Yeah.
But all in all, the series has to be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
They can stop this. If they want to stop the racing like that, then do it every weekend.
Yeah.
Don't do it on the weekends you want to the racers you want to do it
Right.
to.
Oh, we're going to
Like,
choose this guy to be a victim.
I don't think this guy will come and yell at us after the race. Let's just prove our point here.
Yeah.
Nope, it's got to be every person. Every
Right.
person, every time.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. And if they can't stand up to that, then maybe Champ needs to make some changes to people that can. Or maybe not people that can, but a platform that is more fair. Maybe a board of people that's not on the spotters tower.
Right.
Maybe they're sitting behind screens, a group of 3
Yeah.
intelligent people that understand racing and have a background,
Right.
sitting behind TV screens that can review that, and they make the call and they send it up there.
And people that have like no close friendships with the racers.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, or money under the table type deal. Yeah. Yep.
Well, you made a comment earlier about your experience and you adapting to the truck. And I just wanted to say this, that you remind me of Ricky Bobby when the Cougar's in the car and he's like, sit down, Karen. That's you with your truck.
Yeah.
This year. Because it's like, it was out of control last couple of years and you finally tamed it.
Yeah.
To you.
Well, you're watching my in-car camera more than I am, so I imagine you see what's going on in there. But yeah, I mean, I feel calm. Things have slowed down where I'm not chasing the truck the whole time. I'm actually paying attention to what other drivers are doing. I could do that in circle track for years, road course for years, had no issue with it. But the Pro 4 is so out of control, and I was learning how to control it and judge it, and I felt like I had to be right on top of it all the time.
Yeah.
And I was one step behind. Like last year I could throw down a lap, but the next lap I would make a mistake. And I would I felt like I got behind, so I would be chasing the truck the whole lap. This year I feel like me and Doug, my truck, have a better relationship.
Yeah.
I feel what's about to come. I make corrections before they happen.
Yeah.
You have to anticipate it almost prior to it actually happen.
Right.
Which has a lot to do with reading the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
You see something that kind of like yesterday going in the gravel pit.
Yeah.
You're running 100 miles an hour into the gravel pit on dirt, 90-degree turn banked.
Yeah.
And you're throwing it in and your pedal down.
Jesus.
There was a rain rut, a pretty good rain ravine where they trim they actually, like when we're not racing, they cut it out for the rain.
Yeah.
They
so
put it back in. It was already digging out.
Oh, man.
So I saw that in advance, and instead of rotating the truck where I wanted to, which was 2 car lengths before that, I was crossing over. It was slight rotation. As soon as I felt the front tire cross it, I was on the binders, rotating back on the throttle. That little thing. I mean, this is just one little 1 foot part of a 1.9 mile track.
Jesus.
But that right there would keep you from getting in a lot of trouble flipping the truck.
Yep.
Doing anything like that. So it's things like that I think are the little things that have helped me out a lot this year. And yeah, I'm more comfortable in the truck, and I feel like I'm ahead of it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I have the confidence. I knew when we were here at Spring Crandon, I knew at the halfway caution that there was a possibility. I knew what pace I had to run to stay with CJ and to stay with Cole Mamer. And I knew where I was running just to be in third, and I knew that wasn't all I had.
Right.
And that's how I felt yesterday in practice. We came out second. Everybody's like, man, RJ's quick. And I was like, shit, I was at 60%, bro.
You don't want to see me go to 10. You're like Step Brothers.
Yeah, there's a lot in the tank.
Yeah.
So I feel pretty good going in. I just know that I've got to let that track dry out.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. It's really hard packed, and it's blue grooving today already. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure they're going to throw water on it, and it's going to be an ice skating rink. So we're going to be riding the cushion for a couple laps. But when that track dries out and the speed, because the speed's going to be on the cushion.
Yeah.
And then people are going to start inching over and get braver and braver as the water dries.
Right.
When that starts to happen, that truck's going to come alive, and we're going to hurt some feelings. So
you guys better watch out.
Yeah. Cool. You need to be watching that. You need to be watching the race tomorrow. Yeah.
So with that being said, what's your take on, because I come from a motocross background. Like, I raced motocross for a long time and then, got into the media side and whatnot. But what if they let the track be really rough for you guys? Like, groom it before Pro 2, let the Pro 2s get it rough, and then you guys go out.
Yeah, they can do that. I mean, the grooming, they're just pushing it's like a sandy clay. So when we were here in the spring, it was a heavy clay.
Yeah.
And I think they added sand to the dirt, and that's where we're losing the cushion. Because we had a super heavy cushion. Now they've added a bunch of sand. We have no cushion.
Right.
So there's no dirt. When they push that over, we're blowing through it. And that's the problem. They're putting water on this sandy dirt.
Yeah.
And it's just slop.
Right.
We're slinging it off the track. It's gone.
Yeah.
And then the hard pack is wet.
Right.
So all we have to really ride on is the hard pack.
Jeez.
So it doesn't matter what they do with Pro 2 or how they prep the track or anything. It depends on how much water they put on it.
Yeah.
They need to let it be dusty at the end of the race. It's the dirt that they gave us,
right?
But it's unsafe the way that they're overwatering it. And it's not their intent.
Right.
But I think they're like, yesterday was practice. They have races all day today. I'm sure they're learning today. Crandon is one of the best at prepping their dirt.
100%.
They are the best track crew I've ever seen. Jason Flannery is one of the best owners. Mm-hmm. He's very involved. He's paying attention. He really cares. So, like, all these comments are, I have no idea what he's going through, like what that track's going through, what they actually did. I just know what I'm seeing in the dirt.
Right.
My opinion is they're going to have to let it be dusty the second half of the race.
Right.
The cushion's going to be gone, and the track's so hard packed, we're not going to be creating that much dust other than turn one.
Right.
We're going to touch cushion going into turn one.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe gravel pit, but if they overwater it, it's going to be a wreck fest.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 22 Pro 2s.
That's
they
insane.
will wad those things up if they wet that track that bad.
Yeah. I mean, like, in general, like, if you watch pro motocross, the 250 class, they get a freshly groomed track, and then 450s, it's rut central depending on where you go, Unadilla or whatever. But I mean, like, in general, you guys are the cream of the crop. Why not have a rough track?
Well, they've done that a couple times. So at Lena, the race we won, that was an unprepped
that
track.
was a rough track.
A light, but it was a light groom.
Yeah,
they literally went out there. I think a roller and 2 motor graders went out pushing.
Yeah,
stuff
maybe
out.
a little.
Yeah, that was a great track.
Yeah.
ERX had a ton of rain. We were kind of behind.
Mm-hmm.
They had Pro 2, then they ran us. That was good.
Mm-hmm.
It was good, but if we're going to do that, it kind of...
Because it'd be a challenge for you guys.
It would be, but we also, we make adjustments based off of what track we think we're going to have.
Yeah.
And some of those adjustments, like tire pressure. Mm-hmm. If you're going to have a super rough track, you kind of need to have the right tire pressure for that. And you need to know that there's a chance you may blow a tire. So if they're going to do that, they need to give us a 15 minutes heads up and let us adjust tire pressure.
Right.
Because we're assuming we're going to be on a groomed track.
Yeah.
As far as a show, because Pro 2s blow all the cushion off. Mm-hmm. And then Pro 4s dig the track up so bad. As far as a show, I think the show's going to be better. Because the Pro 4s are so fast and so powerful.
Yeah.
When we hit big holes, it breaks a lot of stuff. It's breaking CVs, breaking front diffs. The best show is going to be 10 cars within a straightaway of each other, right? Not 3 cars that were able to last the race.
Yeah.
So that's where
I think we've seen that.
Yeah, but a prep track is going to give you a better quality race. Everybody's going to be a little bit faster. Mm-hmm. And then when the track starts to go away after the halfway caution, first half, everybody's kind of tight.
Yeah.
People look good. Mm-hmm. Then you're like, oh, man, this guy's fast, but he's running second. Well, second half of the race, the track kind of is torn apart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then we fire back off, and it separates kind of men from boys type thing. Like, that's where you start to see somebody like CJ Greaves really shine. Mm-hmm. Dude reads dirt like nobody I've ever met, you know?
Scientist.
But that's what I'm chasing. I'm like, I want to know. I'm running through my head scenarios that he's running through his head.
Right.
Like, how is he doing that? How did he know that I was there? He's studying that. He's watching it. He's watching it develop. Mm-hmm. He sees a line that's starting to fall apart. He moves. And that's what I've done during the off season. I have forced myself to run side-by-sides on. I ran a track at the house. My track at the house, it flooded, poured down rain. Then there was sun for like 10 days. I went out there. I left the grass up. I left the rain ruts in the dirt. Like, I wanted that thing as rough as possible. I don't have a steering quickener on that thing. I don't have aftermarket springs on it. Like, I wanted it to be the hardest fucking thing I ever drove. And that's what I did all off season. This rally car thing I'm doing, we're out there on slick tires.
Yeah.
we're out there on slick tires, and they'll send us out after the side-by-sides, and we're dodging holes that this little freaking Ford Fiesta could fit in. I mean, you could put a trash can in the hole, and we're in a Ford Fiesta.
Jeez.
Like, oh yeah, there it is. I mean, it's a powerful and fast car, but it's like you hit that hole with these little 15-inch wheels, you're blowing it. You're ripping the A-arm off, really, in those. So that's where I found a lot of value running that other series where I have to do that. And that's why I ran it one time just for my buddy Eric Gordon with Back 40.
Yeah.
Eric, you're awesome. I love you, man.
Heck yeah, man.
So I got into it just like a one-race deal. It's just like, hey, dude, you want to come run the car? I was like, yeah, let's do this. And after I did it, I was like, I felt like a better driver for doing it.
Yeah.
Kind of like somebody that runs a 450 and goes back to a 250.
Yeah.
You kind of got to be a little bit like more meticulous about how you ride.
All right, Jet Lawrence.
Just saying. But yeah. But it's just like things like that. Like anything I can do to gain experience and gain confidence. Winning my first Pro 4 race, which is something I've been chasing for the past 2 years. And we've been fast, and we've been there, and I've had races where I'm like, how did I lose that? And now we're there, and we're not just winning races, but we're fast.
Yeah.
Like, we got CJ on the ropes.
Yeah.
And we got to stay there. We got to keep pushing. This new build in the off season is going to be a huge step.
You want to let that cat out of the bag?
I think that cat's out of the bag already.
Yeah?
But
why? Because we got Kyle LeDuc's truck under the tent?
I wasn't going to say where it came from, but
no, I mean, really.
No, we're just,
that was only for the parade, guys.
That was for the parade. And
yeah.
I did not purchase the truck.
Yeah, he's not driving it. It's not going to be raced this weekend.
Yeah, that's not the intent. We're just helping a friend out.
Kyle, we love you.
Yeah, love you, buddy.
Yeah.
Hope you get better. Can't wait to see you again.
Absolutely.
Hope to hang out with you soon. So, he shot me a text, needed some help, and I was happy to help him.
Hell yeah.
Good dude, class act.
Another passionate guy.
I feel like here in the Midwest, he gets a bad rap, but everybody's got to pick their favorites and stuff like that. But I've raced him. He's been here since I started Pro 4. And the dude has raced me super clean, and we've had some great battles door to door, and it's like, we rub and we touch and stuff, but we have respect for each other.
Yeah.
But I'm going through the same thing with CJ right now where, we're competitive, and he'll bash me a little harder than I'd like, and I'll bash him back a little harder than he'd like, and then all of a sudden we're on our lids.
Right.
It's like, geez, where did that go?
Yeah.
Kind of like that Chris Farley bit.
That's coming soon too.
Yeah. But I think that because he is a lone soldier, he brings him and his crew, and he's not looking for approval. He's here to race. He's here to win. He's a competitor. He's fighting for his life right now.
Yeah.
And I'm expected to be the same way.
Yeah.
He is battling it, and he ain't going to give up to nobody. And he ain't going to take shit from nobody.
No.
And I think that's the thing. Like, I'm in the same boat right now. Like, I'm not taking shit from you.
Right.
You're going to race me rough, I'm going to race you rough back.
Yeah.
And if the officials make the wrong call and that's their choice, then they're going to have to make that call. Mm-hmm. At the end of my career, that's not what I want to be known for. I don't want to be known for that today.
Right.
And that's why I try to race in a respectful way that is as clean as possible. But when somebody races over their head or makes a move, and I'm not going to say it's over his head. I think he clearly makes moves and pushes when he shouldn't.
Yeah.
He won't accept it that he's been passed or that he's about to be passed. And that's when he breaks.
Right.
That's when he pushes it farther than he should. And I can't say that I'm any better because I would, when somebody passes me, it makes me lose my mind.
Yeah.
And
but you could pass the guy back and be like,
yeah, like
I was sick.
I'm thinking about the setup and how do I get them back. But man, it does. Like when somebody passes you and you
get angry.
You feel good, like you don't get angry. You just like you know, just really gets under your skin sometimes. Certainly if you think your truck's really good.
Yeah.
And
well, that's how much confidence you have in you and your skill in the truck.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's hard to kind of tame that. And, you know, they've been on top many, many, many years.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of people, you go back through the Torque and Soda and all that, like, not a lot of people have challenged Johnny or CJ.
Yeah.
You know, you got RJ Anderson, you got Kyle Duke, you know, Scott Douglas on a good day, Chad Horde on a good day, and Rick Huseman. You know, Rick Huseman, throw it down, dude. But there's just not a lot of people that have been there, so when it does happen, it's like this huge freaking thing. Like, I go back and I watch the video, and it's like there's a common denominator there.
Yeah.
Right? So you got all these people that are coming up through the ranks, and they're all of a sudden they're fast, but all of a sudden they're the bad guy.
Right.
It's like at some point, you know what I mean? Like, if a guy's in a bad situation all the time and he's like, man, this happened to me, this happened to me, this happened to me, dude, you're the common denominator.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I'm starting to think you put yourself in those positions, or maybe you're handling a situation the wrong way.
Right.
We got Team Mom coming in. Team Mom's coming in with the cash box.
Oh,
so
yeah.
So you get into situations like that where things happen, and maybe you know, maybe you're throwing a friendship away over something that you just need to accept and just be like, this dude's on point right now.
Yeah.
We need to work harder, but it doesn't mean we can't be friends.
Right.
But that's kind of where it's been taken to for the moment.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that won't change in the future. There might be a respect between us,
Right.
where we can compete.
Yeah.
And things can be like, okay, I don't want to bash that dude, but I watched John and CJ race door to door for years and never touch each other.
Right.
You know, but I've also, come to think about it, I think here at Crandon, I watched Johnny take CJ out. So maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, man.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Jeez.
But they're great racers and they're great competitors.
Yeah.
But I think this year may have took them by surprise. You know, when LeDuc was out, they were probably like, oh, man, yeah, dude, we're going to, like, I should put a cushion in my seat, maybe get a radio in this thing. I watch TV while I race.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
I'm sure CJ was thinking, like, I'm checking out, guys. And, you know, we just, we ruined that party.
Yeah.
Because there's no checking out this year. We're going to come after it. We got 3 races left for the points. We have a cup race.
Yeah.
And then we have the Pro 2 versus Pro 4 tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah.
And we're bringing the heat, dude. We got 5 chances, and I want to win every one of them. And I think we can do it. So,
Yeah. Just like that last meme that I put on your Instagram.
the blue steel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Give you the eye, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, all in all, we're all doing what we love to do. Their family is well respected in the sport, and I respect them.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to back down.
No.
You know, I'm not backing down to
If
them.
you want to be the best, you got to beat the best.
Yeah, and not only that, but I don't do well with bullies. Some of the things that have happened behind the scenes and stuff like that with our crew and stuff like that, like,
Yeah, that puts a bad taste in your mouth.
I got a sneaky feeling that God's got some plans that's going to take it out of their hands. So, it's not right to be a bully.
Yeah.
And
100%.
I'm not backing down. I'll be here. So we're going to keep pushing, keep digging, keep developing our team, keep developing the truck. The adds to the team that we have this year. Kevin has been a huge upgrade. Cody is learning the gears and how to build the transmissions and the diffs, which we didn't have that last year. We're like learning stuff, right?
Yeah.
This year it's like, hey, throw it on the bench. I'm going after it.
Right.
You know,
Savage
Pat
mode.
Haas is That dude's just a workhorse, man.
I got to give a shout out to him. He freaking helps me out too.
I know, but Pat he is like the fucking Energizer bunny.
He is. He never stops.
2:30 in the morning, and he's like, "I'm fixing this brake line before I go to bed," and I'm like, "Dude, I'm about to fall asleep."
Yeah.
I was leaning on the toolbox last night, like I fixed my shocks and stuff like that. And Pat's like, "I'm gonna get this done," and I'm like leaning on the toolbox, like, "Oh, yeah, let's do it. Let's go." You know, so
get after, bro.
I got a great team.
Yeah.
I got a great team that loves the sport. My wife has just stepped up so much this year. You know, her and Denise like handle all the stuff, like all the coordination and stuff like that. But Brett has stepped up huge. Like, I literally don't even have to think about what we're doing when we're going there, anything like that.
Right.
All I got to do is like, "Hey, honey, are we good? Yep, you got 2 hours. All right, I'm working on the truck, or
Right.
I'm going to come in here and get ready, like get my mind ready." So we're building a great team.
Yeah.
And we're just getting started.
Yeah, I was just going to
Like,
say.
yeah, where we're at, we're just getting started, and our confidence is building and building. And every time we're on the track, like, I mean, that's like Bark River. We put a plan in place for the, you know, Saturday kind of went awry and things got a little crazy, but Sunday we put a plan in place to get to the lead and to be patient. And we did that. You know, we had a great plan. I studied Kyle Chaney and got what I thought would be the best position. I thought there were 2 or 3 places, and that's why I kind of questioned, like, or that's why I state that maybe there was another place. There was 2 or 3 places where I felt like he had to run the cushion. I didn't have to.
Yeah.
I felt like I had a better line of entry into 2 or 3 corners.
Okay.
That was one of them.
Yeah.
That was one where I just knew he was checking up and he was leaving something on the table. And if I had to do it again and I didn't think he would be damaged, his car would be damaged, I'd do that pass every day.
Yeah.
You know, I just hate the way it turned out.
Yeah.
Not just the black flag, but his car getting damaged. Like, that wasn't the intent.
Right.
So I hate that it went down that way, but I was confident in it, and I'm confident in it again. If I was in the lead, I would have made that jump.
Right.
I had no problem with it. My truck didn't. The truck felt good. The rotation of the corner felt good. That was a heater. That's a qualifying lap.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? I had no problem with that. It wasn't like I was driving outside the box. You watch the video, we're right on the inside of the tires.
Doug was like, "Let's go, baby."
Yeah. I mean, Doug was eating it up, man. You know, and that's why it's really hard for me to kind of rationalize what's going through their minds, because they watch the video and like we're in the champ trailer, and like everybody except for the guy that gets to make the decisions, like, "Man, that was an awesome pass." And then there's this one guy right here, like, "I just think that you took his line," and I'm like, "Really?
Do you not race,
take
bro?
his line? Like, dude, is that a thing?"
Yeah.
Like,
no.
We're not running kids carts here. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, when you're 3/4 of the way, well, actually, when you're 1 foot from clear, that is your line.
Yeah, 100%.
Don't matter if it was taken 2 seconds ago, and that's what I was saying. Like, if somebody dive bombs at Daytona, and they take the bottom and they come up and they catch,
that's their line.
That's their line.
Yeah, 100%.
That is that driver's line at that point. Now, he'll hold, but if they get crossed up, that's what NASCAR is going to say. NASCAR is going to say he had the line.
Yeah.
They're not going to black flag anybody.
Right.
Whoever gets wrecked gets wrecked.
That's racing, man.
You're the 2 idiots on the track. Work it out. But when somebody...
So you and CJ are the 2 idiots?
Man, the whole Pro 4 field Saturday was like the all idiots. Like, who was on the podium? They're not
Trailer
the
Park
idiots.
Boys?
It's like, I mean, we might as well have been filming an episode of Jackass at that point. Like, shoot me in the nuts. No, shoot me in the nuts. Jeez. I mean, I don't even know what to say about that. I don't think that anybody should be proud of that other than the guys that were on the podium.
Right.
But, it's been a hectic season, been a lot going on, but we've shaken it up. I mean, and you got dudes like Kyle Chaney and Cole Mamer, and Andrew Carlson comes out of nowhere. He's fast. RJ comes out of nowhere. I mean, RJ just comes and they pop in. Now, I will say, it's harder to run a full season than it is to just jump in. Mm-hmm. Everybody's like, "Oh, well, RJ's in a seat of something all the time. He's out in the desert all the time.
He's in a side
Andrew
by side.
Carlson races the full series in Pro Stock and Pro Mod.
Right.
It's not like they're out of the seat. They're just not in a Pro 4 all the time.
Yeah.
Carlson's got a track in his backyard.
Yeah.
You know, ERX is at his shop. I'm sure he tests quite a bit before he comes to the racetrack.
Absolutely.
So
that's why he was so good at ERX.
it's very hard what me and Kyle Chaney and Adrian and Cole Mamer and CJ and Johnny are doing, where it's like get home, thrash to wash, try to test somewhere in there if you can. We haven't tested a single time, but I know John and CJ, they race full time. They put a huge effort into testing.
Yeah.
Like we left Park River and they were here at Crandon like 2 days later. Like huge props to them for that, right?
Yeah.
Because like they're putting down the work.
Yeah.
You know, but
Going back to the passion.
Right. But during the off season, I know what I'm dealt against. I know I have to be at work Tuesday morning and I've got to put in 60-hour weeks. So
You're an
I know,
animal, man.
But I know what I'm up against.
Yeah.
So I prepare for that. Like
mentally.
Yeah, mentally and the truck. Like we can't test. So I will throw things at the truck at practice that I would not race on. Like I wouldn't throw it on for a race, but I'm going to test stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm using practice and qualifying as test sessions.
Yeah.
And I'm throwing big things at it. Like we're not going to throw like, I'm not going to be like, oh, let's go from a 15 thou shim to a 12 thou.
Right.
Like we're going to change the shim. Like we're going to, you know what I mean? We're going to make big changes so I can feel what it is.
Right.
Because if I go from loose to tight or jumping to not jumping, like things like that, if I make a big change and I jump the other side of the line, then at least I know where that middle ground's at.
Right.
You know, but that's the world I live in. I got a full-time job and I'm trying to race a professional racing series.
You're doing.
We are. Yeah, we're killing it. But that's the world I'm in.
Yeah.
So that's what I felt like I had to do to race at their level.
Right.
Them dudes, I mean, you can't take nothing from them. They get after it.
Yeah.
You know, they race hard. They're very passionate, and but we are too. And there needs to be room for more than just one successful person, one successful team in Pro 4, or it's never going to grow.
Right.
If somebody is pushing out everybody that has success in Pro 4, Pro 4 is never going anywhere. Because nobody's ever going to want to move to this because they're going to be like, well, there's 22 Pro 2s.
Yeah.
There's not one dominant team. There's not a team in Pro 2 that really gets favoritism or can get away with murder. You know what I mean? Like if Keegan Kincaid, if Keegan shoves Doug Matag off the track tomorrow, they will black flag his ass in a minute. There's nothing. Pro 4 is not that way.
Right.
It has to be even kill.
Yeah.
Have mad respect for the team and you know the legacy that team is going to leave on off-road racing.
Right.
But you cannot show them favoritism, or Pro 4 will never go anywhere.
Right.
So, and on top of that, they need to be consistent on their calls.
Yeah.
Because if a dude's spending $300,000 a year on a Pro 2 and he's got to spend $400,000 a year on a Pro 4, he's going to be like, why do I want to go there when they just tear each other up every race?
Right. It doesn't pay out.
So Champ needs to step back and say, look, we got to have calls at a level. If it is contact that knocks somebody out of their race line, like contact is contact.
Yeah.
We need to make contact. Motocross dudes can make contact.
Rubbin's racing.
But if you lay a guy down, you know what I mean? If you come in and you just bash a guy on a dirt bike,
you're going to
knock him off the track, it needs to be a call.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Same thing here. If you go into a corner, full head of steam, and you weren't going to make that turn, if that other truck wasn't there, you need to be black flagged.
Right.
You know?
100%.
And that's where...
Or like this, like when Eli Tomac was on 250s and he was racing Dean Wilson. Dean Wilson was rubbing him dirty, took him out. Eli Tomac came in, took Dean Wilson out, broke his collarbone. He was out for the rest of the season. But, you know, they did that on their own. There was no calls, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that was one thing where nobody won. You know what I mean? Nobody won in that situation. Kind of like ERA.
Tomac won the championship.
No, I'm saying like from a moral standpoint.
Yeah.
Nobody won in that situation.
Yeah.
It was just two guys that decided. They were in a bar. They took their gloves off and they duked it out. You know what I mean? But it's the same thing with a fight.
Yeah.
Who actually wins in a fight? You know, your hands are hurting, your face is hurting. You're like, dude,
was it really worth it?
Let's go have a whiskey.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
100%.
I've had some bar fight. I mean, I'm an iron worker.
Yeah,
I'm a crane operator, iron worker by trade. Been in a couple fights myself.
Yeah.
Got metal pins in my hand to prove it.
Jesus.
And it's kind of like that. Like almost every fight, it's like at the end of it, it's like, dude, you know, shit, you hit me right in the fucking eye. It's like, let's go have a drink.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of a time I got in a fight with somebody and we didn't have like a drink or something afterward.
Right.
Just like, that was the dumbest crap we ever did.
Uh-huh.
And that's how, like, after Bark River, that's Saturday, Bark River, like, I got out of the truck and everybody's like, oh, you know, great race. I was like, you know, I just didn't want to say nothing.
Yeah.
I just wanted to go in my motorhome and just like
decompress.
yeah, because I wasn't proud of that run.
Right.
I mean, this whole year I've been proud of every run we've made. We you know, Anago didn't go the way we wanted. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been proud of what we put on the track. And then after Bark River, I was just like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
You know, like what was that?
Right.
And talking to myself, you know,
Yeah.
like, what were you doing?
Mm-hmm.
I let them get to me. I let the deal with CJ running me off the track.
Right.
But I got over that, right? And
Yeah.
I got back up to third. I was in seventh.
Right.
Worked my way back up to third. And then on the restart, Carlson comes in and just blows the doors off my truck. Like literally slams into me so hard I'd like thought I chipped a tooth for a minute. Like I was like, you know, and there was nothing. He came out of nowhere. He wasn't really inside of me or nothing. He was straight at me. He rotated hard and he just slammed the door. And, you know, it was like, what the crap was that?
Yeah.
And then I see him pulling away and I'm like, yeah, fuck that.
Right.
I just hate it because Johnny was an innocent bystander
Yeah.
of that whole situation. And I really, like, I cannot believe that Carlson even got inside of John.
Yeah.
You know, I really thought that John would, like, take off and I was going to door the shit out of Carlson. But that's still a dumb move. But
Yeah.
it got to me, man. You know, I let the pressure break me, and I can't do that either. I gotta check that.
Yeah. Be headstrong.
So, yeah, I mean, so we all make mistakes. Everybody in our field has made mistakes this year, and you know, you can point fingers at me, you can point fingers at CJ, but we're just battling hard. But we are better than what we're putting. The product we're putting on the track, we are better than that.
Yeah.
As a group, we're the best off-road racers in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to act like it. So,
I
but
think everybody's doing a good job.
yeah, everybody's doing a good job, but we just got to like check that stuff that happened at Bark River, and we got to put on a good show. You know what I mean?
Water under the bridge now.
Oh yeah, we're here at Crandon. We're at the big house. We're getting ready to go, and you know, that's my intent is to put a plan together tomorrow morning. Sit down with my crew, my spotter, and put a plan together, and we're gonna execute that plan.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, like I said, we won't really know where we qualify until we're through turn one.
Yeah.
And plan A, B, or C, just like Formula One.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have multiple plans based off of where we're sitting and what the speed of the truck is, and we'll execute from there because we can do multiple things that can help us win this race. But I have all the confidence in the world that we'll walk out of this weekend with 3 podiums, and very confident we're going to have.
Freaking neck.
Yeah, 22 Pro 2s is a thick field.
Yeah.
But we can do it. You know, we got the truck to do it, and it's going to be a good weekend. I'm excited.
Heck yeah. Before we wrap up here, I do have one last thing that I want to ask you. What, on top of getting a Pro 4 championship, what is like the next thing that you would want to do?
Yeah, I mean, obviously getting that first Pro 4 championship is a huge deal.
And I'm not saying that you're going to win or you're going to lose. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and there's always next year and stuff like that. So this isn't, you know, what we've accomplished this year is a huge step in the right direction. So that's the thing, like with me, no matter how this year ends, I'm proud of what we're putting on the track.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll continue to work that way, right? You know, we have wins. We're competitive every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We're fast every weekend. We're setting fast laps. We're setting poles. We have, you know, on the podium quite a bit.
Very consistent.
Very consistent. So I'm proud of what we've done this year, championship or not. But yes, a championship is a huge goal. After that, I just want to continue to build a legacy. You know, Pro 4 is a very tight group. There's not a lot of people in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Or in the, it's not like NASCAR where there's 60 drivers every year, and you have very competitive guys, and you have guys that are standouts, right? Earnhardt, Petty, Johnson, Jeff Gordon.
Yeah.
You have guys like that are big standouts, and that is one thing I want to leave. I want to find myself in that elite group, 15, 20 years from now when I hang it up. That's where I want to be. I want to be in that elite group. I want to leave a legacy of my driving style and the ethics and the respect that I show people, and how I treat fans, and how I treat the people that are under my tent. And I want to do it the right way.
Yeah.
I want to win the right way.
Right.
And I want to race the right way. And that's kind of what I want to leave. And that's something that's just an eternal goal.
Yeah.
That's a goal that's never going to end. But as far as next step after winning the championship will be winning the second championship. And when I'm done with that, I'll win the third championship.
Yeah.
Like that's where my goal's at. Off-road is where my passion's at. And that's where I want to be. This is where I want to be. Crandon's where I want to be.
Heck yeah.
And as far as any other series or anything like that, as far as like Nitro Cross and stuff like that, like that's a playground for me. I take it very seriously when I race there, and it's a great series. Nitro Cross is an amazing series, but right now I don't know. Focusing on that's not in my
high priority list.
Yeah, winning championships in Pro 4 is my priority.
Yeah.
So, and whatever it takes to do that. So
Yeah.
that's where my commitment's at, and anything else around that is just icing on the cake. So
that's good. That's
Yep.
good. Testing grounds, whatever, for this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you still do a couple Nitro Rally crosses next year.
Yeah.
If that's in the plan for you.
Well, we still have the season.
Yeah.
So I'm under contract with Back 40 for the rest of the season. So that season doesn't even end till March next year.
Holy shit.
So yeah, we do the World Championships somewhere. They haven't announced yet. But I mean, that's the thing that's pretty sick about Nitro is like they go to the coolest places.
Yeah. It's pretty rad.
Yeah. I mean, they go to the coolest. We just went to Utah. I was like, and I'm here at Crandon.
Yeah.
And I was at Utah, and I was like, asphalt, dirt, like, oh yeah, this is gonna be different. And Travis is like, hey man, I'm gonna make this like 90-foot jump. I want you to jump it in those little rally go-kart thingies. Like, you can make it. I did it I've done the math. You're good.
A
Like,
little Hot Wheels.
yeah, like, and the dude, he was right. We were all like, we're not jumping that shit. And he's like, you can make it. And we're like, no, we can't. And he's like, just try it. He was right. We were able to jump it, but it was full pin, dude. You had to hit the turn just right. You had to be to the floor, but full send, and made it by about that much.
You shit your pants while you're on the takeoff.
You miss it, you're casing it to hell. I mean, it was just like, oh God.
Yeah.
Squeeze them butt cheeks.
Yeah.
But it's a fun series to run. Great people there. People from all over the world. A lot of people from Sweden and England and stuff like that. So it's a different feel there.
Right.
A lot of European people. Dude from Jamaica races there. He's an outstanding driver.
That's sweet.
So it's like,
we should get them to come do Pro 4 or Pro 2.
yeah, but if they're scared to hit the gap jump, they're damn sure to be scared to Pro 4.
True, yeah, that's a little different.
Yeah, they're going to come to Pro 4 race and be like, fuck that.
Yeah, I'll hit that jump, no problem, any day.
Yeah, Pro 4 is a beast, man. They're a they're a hell of an animal to tame. But when you slow it down, and get used to it, but you got to throw it out there. If you're going to run Pro 4, you got to just lay it down.
Yeah.
You cannot tiptoe around. I've heard it said 100 times, you can't halfway drive a Pro 4. You got to run it all out.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. If you try to slow down or conserve anything with them, you know, they just don't like it.
Right.
The truck doesn't like it. So you got to throw down every lap. So, yeah.
Cool beans. Cool
Yeah,
beans. Man. Well, even with me being your media guy, and if I wasn't even involved in Champ Off-Road or doing all this stuff, I would still root for you, man.
Awesome.
Heck yeah.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
You're such a genuine guy, genuine person, and you always have a smile on your face, you know, and you go out there and you have fun.
Yeah,
I like that.
I've had a lot, and every person has a story, right?
Right.
But my story in my racing career is,
and you're an underdog,
is long and a lot of heartbreak and a lot of fight to get back to where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
I love being here. I mean, I risk everything in my companies, and I put a lot on the line outside of being at this track. Like I am expecting people at work to do a lot. I'm asking them to cover for me when I'm here. You know, I'm asking my wife to travel with me all the time.
Right.
You know, it's a lot, and I put a lot on the line. I love this.
Yeah.
I'm here because I love it. I'm here because I feel like I can make a difference in the sport, and I think that there's value to what I bring to the sport.
100%.
And man, there's no feeling like, even on a day that didn't go the way I want, but if I left everything I have on the track,
it was still a win.
It still feels great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels great to know I threw it all down. And if somebody did a little bit better that day, then that is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, but I love being here. I hope to be here a long time. So I appreciate all the love. I appreciate the love from the fans.
Heck yeah.
It's been amazing to watch all the people just embrace us, you know, and just love us for, you know, what we're doing and the passion that we put into it. And just great to see it, you know.
Heck yeah.
Means we're doing something right.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So. From all the social media and all the fans that are here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been great. It's been great having you a part of the team. Like the social media and the memes are just sick, you know. And I love it that I don't have to like worry about, oh, did I forget to post today? You know, it's just like, oh, look, I posted something today.
Yeah, without even having to get my phone.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I got 45 little likes. Fucking Josh just wearing it out, man.
Yeah, that's right.
So I appreciate everything you do for me, dude.
Absolutely.
Yep.
It's been a fun journey, and I'm looking forward to the next journey with you.
Yep.
You know?
We're going to keep building it, man.
Let's go. Let's go.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Well, everybody, this was episode 16. Like I said, Jimmy Henderson, Pro 4 in the Champ Off-Road Series. If you guys aren't following him on social media, hit him up on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We are not currently on TikTok, but we will get there slowly if you want to.
As long as Josh runs it.
Yeah, you know. But like I said, if you guys like this video, if you guys like this podcast, give me a thumbs up. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and we'll see you in the next podcast. Thank you, Jimmy.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
Absolutely.